Oh yeah, good. Hey everybody, welcome to WildCare. It's Friday. We meant to do this on Wednesday, had some changes. We are here live with Herman, the Heermann's Gull. Is she going to take a fish from Melissa?
There we go.
Oh yes, she's going to take that.
Oh, there she goes. You want to try another one?
There she goes.
So this is Herman, our Heermann's Gull. She is 23 years old. She came to WildCare in 1997. And what happened to her was
of course our pelicans.
Yeah, and of course our beautiful pelicans. But today we're going to focus on Miss Herman.
We are.
And what happened to her is they think it's a possible gunshot because there were fragments in her wing there. So they
Fragments
put a pin,
of bone, yeah.
and they put some wires in there as well. And it just never healed correctly. So it's like the left wing froze there. So we'll put some eggs out and some insects and see if she wants to eat. So Heermann's gulls are fascinating birds. They can be found in their non-breeding range from British Columbia all the way down to Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
Nice.
So they like rocky shores, shorelines, beaches, harbors, lagoons.
You see them a lot on the California coast. I feel like we see Heermann's gulls a lot.
Yes. And in their breeding range, 90 to 95% of them go to an island in the Gulf of California called Isla Rasa, which means flat island.
Okay.
So 90 to 95% of the breeding population of Heermann's gulls goes to this one island.
It's a little scary. Ooh,
yes. Which also makes them real, that's really dangerous for all of them to be in one area for breeding.
So true of a lot of seabirds, I know.
Right. And you can tell that she is in non-breeding season because of the speckles on her head right there.
Yes.
During March through July, her head there is actually all white.
And she gets a red ring around her eye.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. You can kind of see. I love how she eats the egg. Oh, she's one of my absolute favorites. You can kind of see the red now, but when she has that white head, it really, really stands out. I think her breeding plumage is particularly pretty. Herman is a girl.
Mm-hmm.
She's been at WildCare, so I know she's 23 years old. Is that how long we've had her?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've had her for that long here at WildCare, and when we got, look at that, it's so wonderful. When we got her, we had not done the test to see what sex she is, and so they named her Herman, which is a very doable name for a Heermann's gull, but hadn't recognized that she actually is a female. So,
and her diet is she's a scavenger, so pretty much anything. Anchovies, mackerel, herring, in the wild, of course, small marine vertebrates, mollusks, shrimp, crabs. And here we give her eggs, of course, is what she's eating right there. So she has eggs, she has some mealworms, we give her smelt, and she, believe it or not, she also likes the herring here.
You said she'll eat a whole herring.
She will. Which is something we discovered while we were in lockdown or in quarantine, is I just started leaving herring for her and she just started picking it apart, and so she's a really good healthy weight. She's about probably over 400 grams at this point.
Okay.
So it's 3/4 of a pound, maybe a little bit more than that.
Okay.
And they do this really interesting thing, and she does it here too, and they do it in the wild. It's called Klepto Parasitism.
Oh yes, I love this.
Yes, and it's where they steal fish from other animals, and the brown pelicans in particular, they will steal the fish right out of their pouch right there.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's fascinating. So she'll a wild Heermann's gull will go up to a wild brown pelican and steal a fish out of his pouch?
Yeah, and she does some of that around here too. Is like when we get them all three together, I'll just kind of start tossing her fish, and she'll go up and she'll steal it right underneath the pelicans and run around. She's a tough little cookie.
That is a great survival strategy. I think that's so funny. I find Klepto Parasitism just fascinating because you're still working hard for it, but you're maybe not working as hard as you would be if you had to go and fish for it yourself.
Yeah, and and the eggs, that's really interesting on that Isla Rasa, on that flat island in the Gulf of California.
Right.
They feed on the eggs of terns.
Oh, do they? That's interesting. So that's how we know that she likes eggs.
Yeah, and also on that island too, rats were introduced there, so that's a problem.
Yeah.
When rats are introduced on the island, okay, so they the mortality is not so good for that.
So scary.
Eating the small chicks and everything like that. In the wild, just offshore, there's peregrine falcons, there's crows, and then of course there's us. us humans,
Right.
you know, and all the
Always
things
a
that
problem.
happen here. And
No
then
question.
These two.
Everybody, of course, knows Marshall, our American white pelican, and Baja, our brown pelican. No, everybody knows those guys.
Yeah, they're quite.
It's quite a little trio we have. So who's the boss, Melissa?
The boss is Herman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she is extremely smart. She has a lot of different vocalizations. They have a laughing call.
Yeah, the one she just did. What one is that one?
That's the laughing call. That's the get away from my stuff.
Okay. And then she has another one.
Yeah, and it's a ear, ear. It's like really tiny. It sounds like it's just a tiny little.
Right. If you listen to 99% of the recordings that we do here at WildCare, you'll hear that sound because Herman does it all the time. What does that one mean?
It means give me fish. So she'll go up to Baja and she'll start going ear, ear like that, and she'll be begging him for fish. So
I have been at WildCare for 17 years, and I have never known what her vocalizations mean. That makes me so happy. Everybody, all of our wonderful volunteers, everybody that knows WildCare knows our pool birds as well as I do. That's going to be so fun because you're going to hear those two different calls all the time.
Yeah.
That's way cool.
Yeah, she's very vocal at certain times, and it's really interesting. I thought it was great during the gala when
She did. That's right.
She vocalized, and see, she's real fast too.
She is. Okay, Herman, you've come out of the frame. Now I have to stand up.
There we go.
Oh, I gotta stand up.
Yeah, but yeah, she's absolutely
She's
awesome.
wonderful. Oh, I just adore her. She's so cool.
And on that breeding colony on that island, they don't make nests. They're just little scrapes in the ground. They can have anywhere from 1 to 3 eggs,
Okay.
and that is also dependent on food availability. So
Sure.
more babies, more food. Less babies, less food.
Yep, that makes perfect sense.
So yeah, and you can maybe see a little bit of the left wing injury there. Of course.
Hi, Marshall.
Marshall, which he's looking for that.
He said,
so
I've
I'll get
noticed that you have fish. I feel. And here goes Marshall with his tricks again.
There you go.
Nope, don't like that one either.
No,
Nope,
not
don't
that
want
one
that
either.
one. So here is your opportunity, Herman, to come and do your Klepto Parasite thing.
Yeah. You want to come do your Klepto?
There's a nice herring right there for you. She's looking.
And she's like, I'm just going to sneak around.
It's her
the
little
edge here.
feet. We love her little feet. Every time she runs, it makes me so happy.
Yes. And she gets out of there. I mean, she gets out of the way of these guys, these big guys right here. And I was reading that the oldest one in the wild was 28 years old. So
28?
Yeah, so she's 23, so definitely a few more years. Again, most of the time, I say generally, is when animals are in captivity like this, our educational animals, we can double or triple their lifespan.
Sure. So she could easily live into her 30s.
Yeah, easily live into her 30s. I mean,
Yeah.
she's extremely healthy. I mean, she does have a couple of issues just associated with age, which is like arthritis. We give her supplements like we do all of our animals here.
Sure. Do you put them in fish?
Yep, put them in fish. Normally, that's something that because they would be varying their diet in the wild, so they'd be getting a lot of different trace minerals and vitamins
Sure.
and so from their prey. But in captivity, we have to supplement that with vitamins, and she also gets a little bit for it's called Cosquin, and it's also
Sure.
for arthritis. So we put that on her eggs there, and she gets that every day as they all get their vitamins every day.
As
they don't
they
really
do.
like them, so we have to kind of be creative with the ways that we give them to them. So these guys have figured out if you throw the first fish, it has a vitamin in it.
Uh-huh.
So you have to readjust it and be like, okay, it's going to be in the third fish. And so
too funny.
they'll take the first fish and they know the vitamins in it, and then they'll just throw it out. So you got to get really creative with how you feed them.
It's so funny. Nothing like having to trick the pelicans and the gull.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Melissa. This has been so fun. Herman, thank you. You're amazing. Such a cool bird. And of course, our pelicans. Got to thank them as well.
Yes.
Everybody, thanks for joining us. We're going to be back next Wednesday. We may end up doing some on Friday too, just because Melissa and I enjoy doing them so much.
Yes.
But Melissa, we have to show them your pelican mask.
Right.
Yes.
See?
It was the appropriate mask for the day. Exactly.
Got to get the fashion on when you're doing this.
Yes. Everybody stay healthy, stay well, and we will see you next week. Bye,
Take care.
Herman.